think we'll be good to go. Welcome, everybody. We'll be starting in about 4 minutes. Being here at home and being this is an evening practice, feel free to grab a blanket, a bolster, an eye mask, anything you may want to make your savasana a little more cozy, a little more comfy for you this evening. So feel free to go grab any of those things you would like that we don't normally have when we go into a studio that you can take advantage being in your own home tonight. And that being said, just make sure you got enough space around your mat this evening. As we're waiting these last few minutes before we get started, feel free to start grounding yourself in comfortable seated position. Any stretches that feel good, go ahead and move your body a little bit. Start to feel what does your muscles feel tonight, how your joints feel tonight. And of course now my little cheek clock is not helping, it's not working with me. All right, I think I got it now. Yes. We should be good. I'm always a questionable one when it comes to technology. There's a reason I have stuck to careers that are not in technology. All right. So however you want to start sitting cross-legged, you could always stretch out long for a little bit if that feels good. The leg position doesn't ever have to stay the same. Oh. My name is Michelle, and we're going to do a little intermediate yoga tonight. So like I said, take a couple deep breaths. What way does your body want to sit tonight? What would feel good? And if you're finding your low back is tighter than you expected it to be, or your hamstrings are tighter when you come to sit up on a pillow. Give yourself a little extra boost. It really helps ease the hamstrings and the low back, especially when we are beginning. Hang on 1 second, my screen flipped and I'm going to fix it here for myself. There we go. All right. So come on, find that comfortable seated position. Let's get ourselves grounded in. Hands go wherever they feel comfortable. Palms up, palms down. If it feels good to join the hands, you can do that as well. Some people like that prayer to the heart, whatever seems to feel good. You can take your gaze down, you can drop the chin. You can just keep the chin, again, be comfortable. Excuse me. Feel your sits bones connect into your mat. Feel how you are being supported by the earth. And take a few easy breaths there. Remember, yoga is for the mind too. Not just our joints and our muscles, but for our mind, for our soul, for your heart. So we gotta let the mind calm down, shift just 1 or 2 gears, not a lot, just a few. Maybe 2 more breaths here. Feel yourself come down just a little bit. 1 more breath. And we're going to pause here. Can you feel how you've downshifted a little? So in yoga, rather than everything that we see, it's what we can feel. How you feel in the pose, rather than how am I looking in the pose. When muscles are starting to work, we want to let them work, but then it's also to remember that and breathe to them, encourage them. Try not to always feel like you need to just push harder on your muscles or stretch deeper. It's all right to be a little easy with them. So again, feeling this downshifted feeling in your mind. Arms come down to the sides. Let's start to move in this easy frame of mind. So as arms sweep up, we breathe in. As arms come down, we exhale. Fall into your rhythm. What movement, what pace feels good in your shoulders, in your neck, in your hands tonight? Moving as much or as little. The next time you sweep your arms up, join your palms together, fingertips, and slide that down to your heart. And do that again, open up. Feel the hands join. Feel the palms, fingertips sliding down. Feel the thumbs touch the sternum. And on an inhale, we sweep out and up. And exhale, hands to that heart. 2 more times. Is it feeling rather than what you see? Last one. Out, up, to that heart. And a breath. Sweep those arms up. Let's give ourselves a twist. One arm forward, one arm back. It doesn't matter. Now you can bring those fingertips to the floor. Bring the chin up a little higher so there's space. We're not looking down towards that shoulder. We're looking up over that shoulder. And inhaling to center. And exhaling the other way. So let the fingertips ground. Get tall through your spine like a barbershop pole. And then you inhale to center. Again, fall into your rhythm. I know I move slow. So you may feel like you want to go faster. That's all right. Go faster. But can you feel the twist not only in the shoulders, but down through your midsection, into the heart, into the ribs, maybe into those abs that wrap around the ribs, those obliques. Inhale, arms up. Finish the twist, whichever side you're going to now. And come to center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Take the hands behind you. Take the feet in front. I'm going to turn on a diagonal so you can see my feet. And we're going to windshield wiper the knees, left and right. And this is going to open up that hip flexor. Stretching open there and getting the hips, those femur bones to move easy in their sockets. Kind of like a pendulum swinging in a grandfather clock. We want hips that move nice and easy, that feel good. One more breath in and out. And then let's come forward, hands and knees. So feeling your wrists and your hands, standing your fingers wide, shifting the weight from hand to hand. If you'd like, you can shake out those wrists. You can circle them out. They're feeling stiff. You can take a deeper stretch for your wrists. Turn the left fingertips out and away to the left, and the right fingertips out and away to the right. And you can work through here as well, feeling those deep tendons in your forearms begin to stretch. You can also hold rock circles around here. And ease in to those forearms. You can start to feel that we use these muscles all day, every day. So give them a thank you stretch. You don't have to stretch so deep. You can feel those tendons in there. You can feel they're thick and they're a little stubborn. It's how they're made. Tendons don't stretch like muscles do. So we have to be a little gentler, little easier with that stretch. Again, breathe in, and as you breathe out, let's release the fingertips forward. If you need to shake them out, shake them out. Another counter stretch is to press the back of the hand into your mat. Giving those wrists a little blood flow. Then lining up those hands right under the shoulders and knees under your hips. Let's go ahead and start to cat and cow. So moving the spine up and down, and the rib cage as well. So it's not just the spine. Imagine a skeleton, all those ribs, you know, that rib cage wraps from front to back. Move that whole rib cage. So it's not just the long, skinny column of your spine. It's the ribs in the front and the ribs in the back. Getting the movement through there. One more time. Let's leave right hand and left knee on the mat. Then it's the left hand, and the right leg is going to lengthen out, and a soft pull in, and a lengthen out, and a soft pull in. Find your rhythm, lifting your gaze if you want, lowering your gaze if you want. Two more. Two. Last one here. Open. Keep that leg in the air for me. Come down, left hand, and then forearm, forearm. That right leg is still in the air. Let's bend the knee and start to circle that around, warming the hip socket. You can look right at your thumbs. Try not to drop your head too far. That rounds out your spine. So you want to feel like your nose is staying about over your thumbs. And then let's do a few circles in the other direction for that hip. Feel like you're drawing circles with your kneecap. Base and big. Bring that knee down. Come up to hands. Step your knees back. Yes, step your knees back. Take a breath. Downward dog. Push into the toes, lift the knees and the hips. Let's drop in the head. And you're going to stretch into those feet. You can pedal for a few breaths. Then open up those hands, press to all 10 fingertips, lean into the left leg, and that right leg lifts. And we can lengthen and bend that knee, continuing to warm this leg. And when you lengthen, can you push a little through the heel? A little bit through the heel, and all 10 fingertips. If it's possible, release the muscles around the corners of your eyes. And in that jaw, one more time, lengthen, bring the foot down. Hold your downward dog. Press to the fingertips, try to lift your tail like you're creasing right in these hips here. Hands and knees. This time, we're gonna move right hand and left leg. So again, you can lift your gaze as much or as little as you'd like. And start to push blood through these muscles. Inhale one way, exhale the other. Try to feel your breath moving as continuously as your arm and your leg are. We're going to hold out, and the right hand comes down. Walk yourself down to your forearms. Bend the left knee. Let's circle. Remember, keeping the nose out over those thumbs. Easy. And draw with your kneecap. Think of circling with that kneecap. Again, this little ease around the corners of the eyes and the jaw if we can manage. And we're going to pause and we're going to go the other way. Breath is still moving. So easy to hold that breath when things get a little, I don't know if the right word is challenge, but when we get busy, how about that? Bring the knee down. Come up to your hands and take that baby step back with your kneecaps. Toes turn under, breath in and out. Downward dog. Again, pedaling out those heels, fanning out strong hands. Leaning to the right foot, left leg lifts, and then we bend and push and bend. Now when you lengthen your left leg, can you feel like you're getting long all through your body, like pulling taffy? So not only are you pushing up through that left foot, but you're grounding down with all 10 fingertips. A check-in on the face muscles again. Can we soften them just a little? Bring the foot down. Hold this downward dog again. You can pedal it out. You can shift the weight around. Let's hold for 2 more breaths, and this time start to shake your head new. Releasing in the neck, relaxing around the eyes. Coming on down, hands and knees into a child's pose. So scoot your knees as wide as you'd like. Bring your big toes together. We sit those hips back as far as your knees allow. Walk the hands towards the top edge of your mat, and you can rest. Chin, nose, or forehead. Taking a few breaths here. One more long, deep breath. Slide those hands in towards the knees, move the hands and knees. Let's find our downward dog. So small step back with the knees, turn those toes with the breath in and out. Lift those legs, drop the head. Feel how the head is low, but your tail is high. Feel that difference. Right. Breathe in and look at your hands. Your right foot is going to step forward and really, really wide to the outside of your right hand. Out and wide. You're going to stay on your left toes. And we're going to rock this around for a little bit, warming up. To the best of your ability, grip with your right toes. And if you can see, you want your knee over your ankle. I don't want to have my toes back with my knee forward. You see how my heel's lifted up? We want to be able to plant through the heel, foot, knee. And then when this foot pushes down and this leg lifts up. So can you feel that difference? One leg is reaching back and the other foot is grounding down. Couple breaths there. Now that left heel is lifted, roll it down. You're bringing yourself up to your warrior two. If you need to adjust this stance, I'll go right ahead. Now, in warrior two is about your legs, so sit so you start to feel these deeper muscles in here. So ground the toes, and we lean the knees towards the pinky toe so that doesn't roll in, it's towards the pinky toe, and the arms open and they're gentle and they're easy, they're a little loose. Take a breath, tip this into your extended angle and float it back up. Remember in the beginning of class, we were raising, we're just sweeping those arms up and down. Can we do that with our whole upper body? We sweep it down, we pull it up, but there's a little ease. We let the legs be nice and strong and the upper body sweeps. Now if you want, you can take this a little deeper and then an ease up. Here's the thing, when we go a little deeper, sometimes we start to roll in to come down. Can we keep tipping from here? When you come up, can you be that sweep, leaning back, and that reach forward, down, and lean up and back, and down. We're gonna hold this down. This left hand comes into the low back. Take a breath. Try to open the chest up through here as much as your body allows, rather than rolling in and looking at your back left foot. Can we look at the wall in front of your right toes? Take a breath and we're going to release this. You're coming back to your lunge. So curl up on those left toes. Left heel lifts. Rock this out a bit. And a breath. Knee and then left foot flattens. See how this feels in your right hamstring and your left quad. If you wish, you can start to walk up onto that right thigh. We want to see how I'm kind of lifting rather than rounding in. I'm going to try to drop my shoulders. I'm almost kind of helping that leg away and sinking into that left knee. You want to tighten your caboose a little bit, and that helps protect the hip joint and the knee. Now, if you like, you can sweep those arms up. Curl those toes under. Now, I'm not supposed to really because of my broken foot. But if you want, you can dig those toes in, keeping your arms up and float up into your crescent lunge. I have to come down and assist myself up, and then I can come back up to my crescent lunge. Take a breath, hands come down. Now, downward dog. So stretch this out, paddle it out. Have some, I guess, fun with it, but let it feel good into the legs. Let it feel good into your calves. Look towards your hands. You're going to float up to a high plank. So come way up on those toes. See how the heels lift? You're going to start to come forward into that high plank. We're going to pull this back into our downward dog. Slide it forward into your high plank. Pause. slide all backwards into your downward dog. Again, up onto those toes, coming out into that high plank. Coming back into that downward dog. Last time, high plank. Full breath here. We're going to lower through chaturanga. You can stay on your toes or you can drop to your knees, but think of your chest coming down between your thumbs. Chest in between the thumbs. Feet flatten. Start lifting into cobra. Take 2 or 3 breaths here if you want. Press in the hands and start to open a little higher. Let your belly stretch. Let your collarbones open. Let this feel kind of good. Don't push too hard, too fast. Take a breath. The elbows are going to bend back, and we're going to bring that chest down. One more time. Inhale, lifting the nose and the chin. Hold for just a second or two, and then use the hands. Now we roll the rest of the way up. And all the way down. All right, as your toes turn under, your knees are going to stay on the mat, and you're going to pop your hips up. You see that hips pop up? All right, I'm going to squeeze my elbows in towards my ribs like grasshopper legs. Then, a lot easier said than done. Your toes under. Downward dog. Again, kind of sway this out, walk this out, however this feels good. So you're going to now step your left foot wide to the outside of that left hand, out and wide, on those right toes, okay? Here, and you play around, you stretch it out. Now, we see how left knee is over left ankle, and you're going to use that right quad. I can let my leg hang out. I can really zipper that quad in towards the bone. See if you can find that. Your legs are going in 2 different directions. The left one's grounding down, and the right one is lengthening back. Can you feel the difference, how the muscles are not matching? They're each doing their own thing. So feel that strength in the legs, and that right heel behind you is going to roll down. I'm going to do the warrior 2 to the rear of the room as we come up. So here, when you're stacked in your warrior 2, this left knee's coming towards your pinky or your pinky toe. You're opening up, and you're strong in the backs of the thighs here. There's ease in your shoulders. You don't want to be feel like you're rounding in, that you're opening a little bit back. When you feel grounded, when you're ready, we start to move that to that extended angle and into that warrior 2. So you're grounded in your legs, and you ease through that upper body. And can you feel the muscles deeper in the core, deeper in the thighs that allow you to come forward and then pause. And then you come back. Pause. If you want to make this bigger, you reach it forward, and that arm can drop down into your extended angle. Again, try not to lean forwards to look at your back right foot. Trying to keep the sight more in front. And up. Can you find that control? In those last few inches, right before the fingertips find the floor, and that control just when those fingertips start to lift up. We're going to hold this next extended angle. Try to feel some openness through your chest and how that top right shoulder wants to drop back. And see how I bring the chin, the gaze above, rather than looking back. Warrior 2. And take a breath. We're going to bring the hands down around that front left foot, and you roll up on your right toes. You find yourself in your high lunge. Now, I have the assistance of my boot. My foot is actually not doing a whole lot in there. So this time I can with you if you'd like. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to stretch you in low lunge. You come down to your knee. You flatten your foot. When I teach and I have a class in person, I use them a lot. I forgot something on this side, didn't I? So again, that knee is over ankle. Start to squeeze in your hips. Squeeze in your glutes. And if you want, you can walk up to that left thigh. And it's like you make a little space in there. And arms maybe come up. So let them slide down into your back so you're a little stable. Turn those right toes under. Grip your left toes. Lift. Take a breath. Hands come down. And downward dog. So release this. Shift the weight. Wiggle the hips around. Shake the head no. One more breath. And then look towards the hands. You're coming up to your high plank. Pause. And then lift up and back into your downward dog. And slide this forward. Take your time. You feel yourself getting longer. Chest turning on. Quads helping. And then reversing the motion into your downward dog. So do your best to not rush and see if you can feel the muscles hugging your bones and controlling your movement. Last one, come out into that high plank. You're gonna hold. You can stay in high plank or you can drop to the knees. Looking down at the hands, chest comes in between the thumbs, elbows bent back, hugging the ribs as best as they can. And down. Take a breath. Come into your cobra. Hold for 2 seconds, 2 breaths, hands push in. Make it a little higher. Roll it back down. Take a breath. Lifting the chin. Pause, feel those back muscles hug. Now let's add the arms coming up, pulling up. Take a breath, bringing it on down. Again, toes turn under. Remember this, you keep your knees down. Pop the hips up, pull your arms in like grasshopper legs. Think of squeezing in the armpits and the chest, pressing up and into your child's pose. Take a full breath here, and then walk the hands off the left side of your mat, onto the floor or towards the edge of the mat, so we stretch open the right ribs. And as you breathe in, feel how the lungs push on the inside of your rib cage, creating a deeper stretch. Hands come to center. Let's take the hands off the right side of the mat. You sit that back and you let those left ribs open up, that left armpit. As you breathe and feel how the lungs push on the inside of the rib cage. Hands come to center. Walking back towards the knees, pushing up, hands and knees, coming around. Seated. Bring the legs in front. You want to turn on that leg. There we go. You're going to sit up as best as your low back allows. If your legs will be long comfortably and your hamstrings, keep your knees long. Otherwise, you can pop your knees up just a smidgen. Keep the kneecaps facing the ceiling rather than letting them drop off to the sides. Fingertips come to the side so they can't help. If we put too far back, we start to lean in. So we want those hands right where they can't help, where it feels like it's very hard to put pressure. That's where we want them. We're going to drop the left toes out, and we're going to start to lift up slightly on a diagonal from your inner thigh. That's why I want your toes dropped out. Rather than toes up, we're going to use just the quad. We want to get into that inner thigh. 6 bones down. Can you hover that leg up? Down. And a little hover up and down. Actually push the right leg down as you float that left leg up. Press the right leg down as you float that left one up. One more time. Slide this and take the hand behind the knee. Keep that right leg on. Lengthen and lengthen and lengthen. One more time. Now we've got the left leg as long as our muscles will allow. Our right hand crosses to the outside, and you can hold on the calf, the ankle, or if you want, you can grab into that foot. This left hand can drop to behind you. It can reach. So it's almost like you're going to string yourself a little bit like a tightrope. You're going to push forward with the arm or with the leg, and you're going to reach back, and then that right leg comes down. Where do you look? Wherever you want. You can look at your left toes. You can look towards the wall. You can look back towards your left hand. Suppose you don't have two left hands. Coming to center. We're going to grab that. Pull in slightly. Bend. Take it down. We're going to try that on the other side. So putting those hands where they can't help. Right toes, they drop out. So we want to really be able to pull with that inner thigh. Push your left leg down like it's stuck in flypaper. And then right leg lifts. And we set it back down. Lifts. Now again, can you feel yourself, what muscles you use to pull and then stop? And hold that, and then we slowly release. Stop. Pick up, hold, set down, and stop. Pick up, and down, and we come up. Hands are going to go behind the right knee, and you let the knee bend, and then lengthen. When you lengthen, feel like the whole leg is getting longer out of the hip socket. So it's not just a kick in the toes. The whole leg is working at being long. And we're going to hold this one. The left hand comes up and over, and you can grab your calf, your ankle, or your foot sitting up, and then that right arm can reach back. So string yourself tight. Use your right foot and your left hand. Where do you look? Wherever your gaze, whatever feels good. Can you find little spaces to easily breathe? And we swing the right arm back. We're going to grab the calf. We're going to see how much we can lengthen up. And setting it down. Hands go behind. Drum those knees out. Take a breath. Bending the knees. The feet find the floor. We're going to scoot in just a little more. Hips towards the heels, and then your fingers, your hands back behind. The fingers can face left and right, or they can face in towards your hips. Just don't turn them out. It's really easy to hyperextend your elbow that direction. Ground the toes, the heels into the floor. Think of where your knees caps are way out here, and this is what's going to press away, and that helps you lift, and then lower, and then open, push the knees away and down. Dig into those toes and heels. Push the knees away and down. One more time. We push all the way. Calming down. Lengthening the legs. Pull the toes back towards you. Sit into your sits bones. Arms sweep up. Take a breath. Fold this down. If you want, you can bring your hands under your knees, anywhere down the length of your calves or towards the feet. Take a breath and let it out. Every time you inhale, think of yourself getting longer up your spine through your head, like how a jackknife folds in half. That blade doesn't fold. It tries to get a little longer. So think of that crease back in the hip flexors here, getting very deep. Inhale, your arms in it, up. Bring them down. Fingertips either facing left and right or towards your hips, feet slide in. Take a breath. Reverse tabletop. Hold here. Get some ease in your neck. Wherever you're placing your head, there should be ease in your neck. You're digging to your toes though. We're squeezing the shoulder blades behind. Slowly setting down. Legs go long. Toes pull in back towards you. Ground through your sits bones. Inhale to reach the arms. Exhale into that forward fold. Using the breath, think length on your inhale. And just think fold on your exhale. Even if you feel like you're not getting any deeper into your stretch, just think it. Think length on the inhale. Think fold on the exhale. Do that for one more full cycle of your breaths. Reach the arms up and long. Come and down. One more time. Fingertips either facing left and right, or back towards the hips, and we bend the knees. Ground into the toes. Open that chest, pinch the shoulder blades together. Push your kneecaps and your shin bones away. And over. Wherever you look, I can't hang my head backwards. I have some old whiplash injuries. But if it feels good, you could hang your head backwards. Keep your toes gripping down, your hamstrings strong behind the knees. And try to find some softness. Somewhere in this pose, there's not a lot of softness. But if we can create it, if we can find it, inhale, exhale, set those hips down. Let the legs lengthen long. Toes come back towards you. Inhale, lengthen up. Think of that jackknife as you fold this down. So again, as you breathe in, just think length. As you exhale, imagine fold. Inhale and think length. Exhale and imagine the collarbones coming beyond the knees, almost down mid-shin, almost as if the forehead would come down near the ankles. 2 more breaths. One more time. Reaching those arms up and up. And they come down. Remember in the beginning of class when the hands came behind and we bent the knees and stepped the feet away from each other and you windshield wiper for those hips? Let's do that again. One more time. And coming in. All right, so keeping the knees bent. Right foot stays on the floor, left ankle crosses over. Now you can't put those right toes on the floor. My boot won't let me. So you don't have to keep your foot flexed. You can drop those toes down. And we're going to start rocking here side to side. I'm going to show you all kinds of things you can do to play with this figure 4 stretch. So one of the things you can do is shorten this space between your hips and your foot, that right foot. You can start scooching in. When we start scooching in, you want to think collarbones still come up towards the shin bone. So we don't want to sink back and make space. We want to feel like we can start to fold in there. And you can play around here, rocking, breathing, working out this stretch if this is feeling really good. Another option is cradle the baby, where you take your left foot and it goes in the crook of your right elbow. And we hold in. Now that right leg could go long, that right leg could bend. And we start to rock out here. Now we want to think of the length coming up this hamstring. So it's not to kind of come down. We want to feel like we can start to almost lift in that leg, like it's coming close to the collarbone or to the throat. If you're getting a little wiggle room in there, that left elbow goes in the knee pit. The right elbow goes near the ankle, and you kind of keep them apart. And we play around here again, thinking of pulling length up the back of the leg. Now, if you want to play some more, the elbow on the ankle stays. Okay? This one on the inside unfolds. We reach up behind the head, and we see if we can make that behind. Now again, you could bend that right knee. You can keep that long. We try not to hug down too much. We try to pull this up and long. And you breathe a few more times. Can we find any kind of ease, any kind of softness that the whole body isn't super duper duper tight? It really is. Bring that down and take a breath. Ooh, set the legs down. Again, flexing those toes. Inhale those arms up. Let's just take that forward fold. You're getting some more space in there. You feel that? So let's hold for about 3 more breaths. Think inhale, just think it. You don't have to force it. Think inhale on, or length on the inhale. Fold on your exhale. Just think it. Last breath. Reach in those arms. Up and up. And down. Left knee bends. Right ankle over that knee. Checking out the flexibility on this hip. How does it feel? Remember, you can scoot the hip in towards, I'm going to scoot action this way, I think you'll see me a little better. Toward, narrow the space between the hip and the ankle, or the hip and the heel. See how that feels. And then we try to bring the collarbones toward that shin bone. If you would like, you can go into cradle to baby. You give yourself a little space. Left elbow in the foot. Same thing, lifting up. Let me turn a little bit for you. So we want to lift up, not sink down, as best as your body will allow you. And length up, that right hamstring. We want to kind of coax that leg up and out, up and out, up and out. And if you would like, elbows go underneath, one under the ankle, one under the knee, and the same thing, we try to lengthen up as best as our body will allow tonight. Finding some space, some softness somewhere, that not every muscle in our body is getting too tight. If you'd like, that left elbow stays on the right ankle, right arm untwines, it reaches up behind the head. To the best of our ability, we lengthen up. And again, trying to create some ease, even if it's just around the eyes or the lips aren't completely pursed together. Releasing this down. Take the legs long, flex the feet back towards you, and inhale. Exhale into that fold. Oh, isn't that nice? You feel that space? Now have some fun with your breath. Just think length and inhale. Think fold. Just think. You don't have to force. One more. Reach those arms out and up. Coming up and down. Let's come down onto our back. I'm going to turn again, and you can see my left foot that cues this model a little better than my right. On the back, let's bring the feet and knees all the way together. You can scooch those arms away from the sides. Let's start twisting into that spine. So releasing, if it feels good, hold. Now you can look in the opposite direction that your knees are going if you'd like. And play around with that, what feels good in your body tonight. So think of this like wringing out a sponge. We want to gently twist those vertebrae in our low back, releasing that low back. Coming to center, step the feet about hip width distance apart, and those arms are going to scoot, and that the sides press the toes. We're going to roll those hips up. So we're going to roll them down. Do this a few times and see how it feels on your back tonight, in your hips. And you're loading through your shoulder blades. You're not rolling up and putting the weight in the back of the head. We're going to hold this next bridge. Now you can stay here, or you can wiggle the hands underneath you, bring the palms together, and I placed my fingers together, and I'm really walking my upper arms underneath so I get a nice chest opener. You can be here. Some people, even like to roll down on their hands. If you do that, unfold them. Otherwise, it feels like you're trying to break your fingers. If you like that feeling of a more open chest expansion, come back up and you can hold here. You can even start to bring your hands into, I'm using the flat of my hand into my low back, right on my sacrum there, and opening this up. Finding bits of softness. We don't have to make everything so tight to accomplish things. We don't have to try that hard. Wiggle the hands out, arms come down. Let's roll this down. Bring the feet and knees close together, scoot the arms away. Let's start to gently twist side to side. And releasing that spine. You can look in the opposite direction of the knees if you'd like. What do you feel? What would feel good? And we're gonna bring this to center. I could swing my knees all night long. That feels so good. There are times, you ever gotten up in the morning or just even woke up before you got up and that low back is a little tight? Bend your knees, bring your feet to the bed, the mattress, and you can sway a couple times before you get up. It can really help those in the evenings when you've got that stiff back. Bring that left knee in, hook the hands behind the knee. Right leg can go long if you want, or you can keep that knee bent. Let's lengthen that up and down, and lengthen that up and down, up and hold. Take a breath, start to walk in as much as you'd like, easing in. And think again, it's not necessarily trying to bring this head up, it's almost easing this leg longer up through here rather than trying to pull through here. Lengthen. You can even grab those toes if that's what you like. And I have really short legs. So you can touch your toes. I'm really little. In my next life, I want like legs forever. I don't ever want to touch my toes. Take a breath, bend that knee. Come on down, leave that left foot, pull that right knee in, hands behind the knee. If you want left knee bent or left leg long, and again, lengthen up, down, reach. Can you start to feel that stretch in the back of your calf, in the back of your hamstring already? Rather than just kicking the leg, say, stretch in that hamstring. And we're gonna hold this time. Take a breath in and out, walking up, and that same thing. We want to try to create that stretch in the back here, opening up that leg long. Now we're different left to right, so you may find you can get a hold of your toes, and it's really amazing how this boom, it's got a lot of little handles that help me grip in, or those toes, but to lengthen the back of this leg in here. Find some softness. You don't have to pull so hard. One more. Breathe it in, exhale, bend the right knee, roll it on down. The right leg's gonna go long, arms go over the head and open up. Make space in the rib cage. Excuse me. One more. Open. And arms come down, take a breath, bend the knees, slide them in. Knees come to chest. And just rock from side to side of your rib cage. At night, I really like to do a pose that really lifts the legs into the air. And it's very calming for the body. It's very soothing for the adrenal glands. So I'm going to show you shoulder stand. If you would rather, you can use a bolster, a block, something that's got a little more density to it, a little more support rather than a pillow. So I'm going to use a rolled up mat, an extra rolled up yoga mat for starters. And you would come lie on your back and you bolster under the hips. And then you can lift in the legs and you kind of stay there. There's this little sweet spot where you can hang out. This can be done with a yoga block. This can be done, like I said, pillows are a little soft. Maybe a book, and if that book is a little hard on your sacrum, put a towel over it or put your mat over it. There's this. Otherwise, if shoulder stand is in your practice, use your elbows, those lovely strong bones. You're going to press down so you can roll those legs up and try to get to your low back. Try not to hold yourself here. It's hard to get the height. See if you can walk further into that low back. Drive into your elbows, and that's when the legs start to lift up. Of course, this is called shoulder stand because the weight is in our shoulders, not our neck. And from here, you can play. You can always drop a leg. You can twist legs. You can open in straddles, whatever you'd like. And we want to hang out for a bit if we can and really let gravity start to pull the blood out of the feet, out of the calves. Pull that fluid down. So again, if shoulder stand, it's not the easiest thing to pull, it is some work. If it's getting to be a little more work than you had wanted, you can always roll yourself down and prop your tail. Nothing wrong with that. If you're in your active shoulder stand, again, can you find some areas of softness? That not every muscle in your body is completely rigid. And see, this is how short my legs are. My feet don't quite touch the ground. Most people, when I see them, they're able to drop that toe over their head. My toes, not quite that long. And if you like full plow, again, in my practice, my feet hover. So yours might stay, but be careful of that neck. Put the strength in your shoulder blades and use those arms. And when you're ready, you can just roll this on down. Feel the blood return to the feet. Take a few breaths. One more time, legs go long. Arms over the head. Open up that body. Thinking of pulling taffy. Breathe into all this space here below your rib cage and that diaphragm and that belly. Now, some people, it's pretty comfortable here, okay? Most commonly, we'll see the knees bolstered. An extra pillow under that knee. Couple things to play with or try for Savasana. Some people like to open up more through the chest and the shoulder blades, so you can put a pillow, like kind of about, what is that? Shoulder blade height. And you see how that opens my chest? I tend to hold my arms up. I go to both post arms again. And if you want, you can even bolster knees and chest. And if you want, this is where you could grab an eye pillow or a blanket, anything to start to make yourself a bit more cozy. 3 really nice long deep breaths. Your own pace. Just feel the body downshift 1 more gear. Or even there are half gears. It's not that you're going to relax completely, but you want to feel the edge come down just a little bit. Because once we know how to begin that downshift, that's when the whole unraveling happens. It's like a sweater. It's when you get that first little snag in there and then everything starts to come undone. You don't have to pull the whole sweater apart. It doesn't all fall apart in the beginning. But it's that first little nudge towards unwinding. So again, where's the softness? maybe in the corners of your eyes, maybe in the palms of your hands or in your fingers. Maybe you feel some ease in your diaphragm or belly or back. If you would like, you can close your eyes, or if you keep your gaze open, just softly focus on something. You know how the edges of your gaze go a little blurry? Allow that to happen. Feel yourself breathe in and out. Breathe in, the exhale just happens naturally. And I just lost some of my lighting, and I'm not sure why. Take a few more breaths. Take a moment to yourself. It's almost like you've created this little bubble of peace, you know, like a snow globe. So just hang out in your little bubble of peace and allow your body to continue to soften. Take a long breath. Feel the change you've created. You can add movements when you're ready, but don't let this feeling completely disappear. It's possible to add gentle movements and keep your body feeling a little soft, a little relaxed. Now, when you come to seated, you can roll yourself to your side and push yourself to seated. You can hold a knee in and rock yourself in, being a little gentle. Find a comfortable way to sit for just a few more breaths here. I'm going to try to move into what little light I have left. Like I said, that comfort can come with. So what little nooks and crannies has it moved into? Where do you feel the softness now? Bring your hands to prayer. Bring the thumbs to your forehead. I wish you peaceful thoughts. Bring the thumbs to the lips. I wish you peaceful words. Lower the thumbs to your heart. I wish you peaceful actions. Namaste. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your night.